Since I got here today, I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails.
About this problem? Or just,
yeah. I got your PayPal receipt. Let's see if that's... yeah, that was how it started. That was the thing I noticed,
that
actually.
Was for
and then all of a sudden, 4 emails since then from American Express. Well, good for them. I don't know.
What was the amount that they were trying to...
Well, the first amount was €47, and then I think there was a second charge, too.
Okay.
And I got, how many texts? 1, 2, just 2, I guess. Or 3. Anyway, get your guide Deutschland. And then did you hear the question she asked me? Have you recently booked any travel? I was like, no. I don't want to fuck around and say, well, yeah, but not to Germany. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
Ghost of Frankenstein.
My son, would you destroy that which I, your father, dedicated his life to creating? What if it had another brain?
Whose brain?
Your brain.
Power! What good is a brain without eyes to see?
I warned you that you might regret this action.
Well, we've warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series minute by minute. I am Thom Lang.
And I'm Bill Evenson, and you join us for minute 16 of all new thrills, The Ghost of Frankenstein, starring Sir Cedric Hardwicke, Sir Ralph Bellamy, Sir Lionel Atwill, Sir Bela Lugosi, Sir Lon Chaney, and Lady Evelyn Ankers.
Yes. She was sort of the queen of Universal horror there for...
Well, maybe we'll talk about that.
You think that might come up sometime soon? Yeah. Well, we continue with the monster lumbering down the steps, bringing Costine and her ball from the roof, whatever.
Roof.
Or Minnesota.
We say roof.
Yes. As Hussman runs up to them. And speaking of Hussman and Olaf Huyten, we talked about him at length a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
3 weeks ago or so. And the day we recorded that, I saw him in no less than 3 other movies.
Really?
Like that fucking guy?
Wow.
Every movie we watched, there he was.
Wow. No
They were all Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, okay.
Which it seems like he must have been...
I suppose I could turn that a little bit, that light.
Sorry.
That's all right. Or do you usually leave it off, or do you?
I usually have it like
there
that,
we
so
go.
I can
Perfect.
see what I'm doing.
I want you to be able to see what you're doing. I do, believe it or not.
Oh, well.
Well, there you go.
There. Okay. So yeah, I never paid him any attention for 58 years, and all of a sudden
he's your biggest fan.
Everywhere
Yep.
Hussman runs up. And,
so were you watching the Basil Rathbone series?
Yeah, we are.
And he was in 3 of them that you watched?
Well, he was in Study in Scarlet, which is a British film from the 30s, predates the Rathbone series. But then he was in 2 of the Rathbones as well.
Wow, the first 2?
Not in the Fox ones, but he's in like 3 or 4 of the at least of the Universal.
Okay.
So Roy William Neal must have been a fan of his, or
that makes sense. Sure,
they were buddies or whatever.
Well, he's not. This isn't a Roy Neal.
No, this isn't. But those are.
Oh, right. Yeah, makes sense.
All but 1 or 2 of the Universals were directed by him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. He's very brave.
Very brave.
He's very brave to walk right up to the Cheney after he's been drinking in the makeup chair all morning.
That's not a good... He's not near as brave as Janet Ann Gallo is letting...
sure. Good point. I was going to say Jack Pierce.
Well,
damage.
Yeah. I never heard of Cheney actually getting violent on the set or destructive in that way.
Yeah.
He did trash his dressing room or his bungalow. He and Broderick Crawford would get drunk and beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, there was
on a regular
tale
basis.
about that. Yeah, they would actually take the furniture and move it or hang it from the ceiling somehow.
Crazy
something they would do.
Yeah.
So they'd have more room to brawl.
Yep, and this happened numerous times to the point where Evelyn, I found it is pronounced Evelyn.
Okay.
She complained and they got tossed out of there, which is one of the reasons that Cheney disliked her.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no love lost between the 2 of them, that's for sure.
So this is an actual dressing room, not a trailer then?
It was a bungalow, it was a building, yeah.
And so she was in that building.
I think she was in the next one over or something like that. And could
someone's
hear this.
head went crashing through, like Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner.
Yeah. Step into a Slim Jim.
There you go, perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, yes,
So anyway.
Hussman is very brave. He walks right up to the monster and takes Chlorostein, and Cheney actually acts
Yeah,
a little bit
there.
here.
Yeah.
He looks a little confused.
Well, he does that arm acting again, where
He does
his
the arm,
arms
yeah.
are a little bit.
Well, yeah,
got to
but
keep him stiff
but
for
his
some reason.
expression actually changes.
That's true. He does a bit. That's a
you
good
know,
point.
he doesn't
yeah.
have that bulldog scowl.
You actually know what he's trying to do here for sure. He doesn't
Which
want
isn't, you
to
can't
lose
always
her.
say that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, up to this point, not
Yeah.
usually. Yeah. So what's happening is he recognizes that she should go with her father, apparently on some level.
yeah.
But then when he starts to back away, and he does back away.
backs
yeah, he doesn't
off,
want
yeah.
to take his eyes off him.
Yeah.
Good thinking there.
Yes.
Then yeah, that's when Cheney decides to start acting. His acting
Earl.
career begins here, and some might say ends here. No.
Earl Kenton, like, come on, act. He's off camera. Act.
Can we do that again? But this time, could you do something?
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness to Cheney, I don't know if he was directed to do this, because the script has the monster doing all sorts of things that Karloff would have had a field day with.
Yeah.
And Cheney does none of it.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's just, I hate this role and this makeup, so I'm not going to do a fucking thing. Or if Kenton is like, yeah, just be a zombie.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you know, the other thing about Cheney is the story about him anyway seems to be that he really wasn't all that into horror movies. He wasn't happy with
No, he
his
wasn't
place
happy
in life.
about that,
And
because
if you're not happy about being in horror movies, getting that
well, ask
Frankenstein head every day.
Ask
put on
Evelyn
you.
Onkers too about that. It was why she
Well,
left.
yeah,
That's
true.
why she quit.
Yeah.
Just don't know. Well, because Ted Newsom, it came up on one of the Frankenstein pages or whatever. What's the deal with Cheney not doing shit?
Mm-hmm.
And Ted Newsom said, well, he was probably instructed to do this because at this point he was trying to, quote, out Karloff. And that's the only place I've ever encountered that. What I've always read is what you just said, that he did not like doing horror. He did not want to follow in his grandfather's footsteps or his father's footsteps, as the case may be.
Footsteps in this case, yeah.
Yeah. So I doubt that he was trying to out Karloff. He was stuck in these roles. He wasn't real. I mean, ask him about the Mummy, and he'll go on for days, I'm sure, belly aching about that.
Yeah. Well, like, who can blame him?
And I
That
can't
looks
blame him.
terrible.
They could have been a stunt man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
true.
Pay Cheney to use his name and throw Eddie Parker in there.
Yep,
And
Eddie Parker. Good
nobody-
old Eddie.
Good old Eddie. Nobody would have known the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that 9 times out of 10 it's not.
Sure. Yeah. That's
In watching
that's-
those,
you can
especially by
see-
the last one, I doubt Cheney's in there 25%
Yeah,
of the
even when
film.
he's the monster, when someone's playing the monster, you can sort of get away with putting Eddie Parker in there, or what Gil
Perkins, yeah.
But usually people like us who go through it second by second will notice. Whereas with the Mummy, you can probably get away with putting anybody.
Yeah.
You put Evelyn Onkers in there, and it'll probably look
Yeah,
about the same.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, or Bud Wolf, you know. I mean, I think, but Bud Wolf in Son of Frankenstein was a little more obvious. Those last few shots
Right.
in by the pit, the sulfur pit.
Well, maybe because you can see the person's face. Generally, you can see
Generally,
their
well,
face.
I mean, you can see Eddie's face in the long shots when
Yes.
he's up on that walkway just a few minutes back.
Yep.
I think that and the climax of the movie are about the only times he doubles for Cheney. Otherwise, I think Cheney did most of it.
Yeah. He's not asked to do a lot of dangerous
Not a
stuff.
lot of stunt work here, no.
Yeah.
And then as he backs away, Viseria's finest come pouring in out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, all right.
With the Keystone
There's two things
cops.
happen at once. Like I said, all of a sudden 12 cops appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they look kind of like modern police. They don't look like.
They don't look like a European
yeah.
gendarme. Yeah.
Yeah, like they don't look like Krog.
No.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or his
what was it?
his fleet of foot.
What was the guy's
guy? Yeah, I can't remember.
Trans.
But yeah, so then the monster and Igor walked so far that now it's the 40s because like earlier in this movie it looked like a different.
Yeah.
But
well, Viseria is a little more progressive than Frankenstein apparently.
Well, I mean, progressive in that sense.
In
I
that
was going to
sense,
say
more modern.
because then he says, "You said you wouldn't
No,
hurt him,"
you
and the
promised.
cops are like, "I didn't say I wasn't going to
never
hurt him."
said a word.
He first clubs him with his club.
Yep.
And behind them is
So
a
this might
sign.
answer what color the monster is.
Okay.
he's not green. Maybe he's black, and that's why the police are beating
There
the
you
shit out
go.
of him.
There's a window in the back that has writing on it.
Yes, there is.
Okay, so I wrote what I thought it said.
Go ahead.
Then I watched it again and wrote what I thought it said because I corrected my notes.
right.
Then I watched it again and again and again, and every time I watch it, I see something different. But here's what I don't think it says. I don't think it says Emil Lang, apothecary.
No.
But it almost says
It almost
that.
does. Is ANGE is visible.
And E at the beginning. I think EM is. I think it might be EM Lang. And then it looks like it's the second word is spread across maybe two windows. And the end of it does look like occur.
Yeah.
So, but this beginning doesn't look like
It doesn't look, no. It doesn't.
Anyway.
And they actually spelled Lang properly this time.
There's an E at the
There's an
end?
E at the
oh,
end,
well, I didn't. Oh,
Yep.
my goodness. But we have moved on to
Yeah,
Vassaria.
see, this is
You're
our-
more of a Vasarian Lang.
I am, yeah.
Frankensteinian.
we're the Vassaria branch.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Great
I was going to say
grandfather Henry
it's
came
obviously
from.
a chain, Lang's Apotheker, but we don't know what it is.
yeah, it's like the CVS of.
But I will say
fictional
this:
Europe.
it looks like it's the same. Isn't that the same?
No,
I guess I'd have to go back and look.
it's not the same building.
Okay.
Because the building that was Lang's Apothecary in Sun was built specifically for that film. It's not there
I see.
anymore. It wasn't there probably by this point. It's the one I said it looks like it came out of the movie Popeye.
Yeah,
These
right.
Really weird Caligari angles.
We
that-
talked about it, yeah.
that match the
last
rest
season.
of the sets that Otterston designed, but not the village itself, because that was pre-existing since Hunchback and then expanded for All Quiet on the Western Front.
And is still there now.
And is still there to this day. I walked where Karloff walked.
I have not, but somebody posted on one of our listeners here. He used to be around a lot. It was Livio Marino, I think. Posted on the Classic Horror Film Board this week that he's going on the Universal tour, and he wanted to know if they still do that. And
he going
somebody
to do
posted
the-
a YouTube video, and they said, yeah, they still do that.
He's doing
part.
the VIP tour.
Well, I don't know.
Because if you do the regular tour that you get with your park entrance, you don't get off the tram, they just drive around. The VIP, we would stop and had 15, 20 minutes to wander around on
Okay.
each set, which was fantastic. I could have spent all day
Sure.
just doing that. Unfortunately, we had to go on the Fast and Furious ride, which was abysmally awful, and Transformers ride, which was even worse.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen any movies from either series, but if that's any indication of what they are, I'm good.
Yeah, I can't imagine that those would be high on my list of things to do.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
All right.
so that's not Emil, but it is it's Emil of the Frankensteinian Langs. This is
Yep.
EM of the Vasarian
Yeah,
Langs.
that's so maybe the son Henry
Henry Lang.
Henry Lang is the lineage that I come from, or not come from, but it was adopted into.
Okay, the long
was
line
the-
of apothecaries.
I guess so.
All
I
right.
don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'll have to ask.
And the railing stays up, but it still looks like
still
it's
looks
about
like
to
it's
get,
just
about to get.
slight breeze is going to knock it over.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people banging into Cheney, and he's banging into a lot of people.
Yeah, it's-
People probably got hurt in this shot.
Well, it looks like it because it looks like a bench clearing brawl.
Yeah, it
you know?
does. It does. Yeah. You said you're not going to hurt him.
The pitcher didn't like the call, and it ends
Yep,
up
there you
clearing the dugout. Yep.
Yep.
Then we did we lap dissolve? Crossfade. No, there's a crossfade.
No, it's a crossfade. Well,
Fades out to black and then fades up on the same establishing shot of the sanitarium that we saw in minute 9.
do you know why?
Why it's the same establishing shot?
No, why it's the fade out and back in. It
It's
just
a-
occurred to me.
it's a-
Because time has to pass from that moment.
Time
to
has
the
passed.
next. Yeah, we can't
and it's-
pretend these are happening at the same time.
Right, time has passed, and it's the location change.
And a location change, yes. But I mean,
But
as
this
opposed
could
to
very
just a
well be
location
the
change.
next day.
Yeah,
Early morning the
absolutely.
next
Yeah.
day is
Yeah.
kind of how it feels.
Not to me, but that's works. I'd
Okay.
have to look for a reason not to think that or not think that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I
Or-
mean, I
or
guess
it's
I
later
think
that
not.
day, I
I
don't
just
know.
thought of a reason why not, and
okay.
I'll spell it out next week
Okay.
because that's when it comes out.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. That's the first I've given it much thought. So.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
But either way, time has passed.
Yes.
Some time has to pass. That's why we fade out and back in
Yeah.
instead of lap dissolve, which
Right.
is our favorite.
Our favorite scene transition.
Scene
Although
transition.
there's a new one coming up at the end of this scene that we haven't encountered.
All right.
Yep. A horse and buggy enters through the gate at the lower more.
Yeah, are there no cars in this movie
Well,
other
that's
than
what I
the
was gonna
truck in the
say.
background?
The village of Frankenstein must have been more progressive in that regard.
I see, yes.
Whereas the policing was more advanced here in this area. Yeah.
Although there is a truck at
There's a truck
at Frankenstein's house.
parked back in
Parked in the background.
Yeah,
but you
that's-
can't see it in this shot.
That's true, yeah.
But we saw it a few weeks
We
ago.
can't see it in this shot because it's obliterated by the matte painting that serves,
is that why?
serves
Okay.
as the sanitarium.
I thought it was just a more well thought out angle.
Well,
and true,
that's
too.
very true too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that insert of the gate with the studio buildings in the background seems very much like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Second unit quick grabbed it so we can get a
Yeah.
close up of that sign.
Yep. And Earl Kenton spent the required amount of time looking at it and said, "Looks
Yep,
good.
Looks good to me.
Put it in there.
Yep.
Slap her in."
That's right. We've come upon a young woman seated on a bench in a flower garden with a book and a parasol at her side.
You know, very to me reminiscent of Elizabeth and Henry and Bride.
Yes,
They have
at
a similar
at Busch Gardens. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just like on a bench, an ornate bench surrounded by flowers.
Well, it
and in
reminds
this
me of
case, no
Elizabeth
dogs.
and Henry. Yeah, with the dogs in not in Bride, but in Frankenstein.
Was that in Frankenstein?
Yeah,
Because
it's
there's
after
a
they
similar,
bring him.
Oh, that's right.
It's after they bring him home from the tower when he collapses.
Yeah, but in
And,
Bride, they don't have a moment like that in Bride? Well, I guess
They
not.
have a moment like
But
that in the bedroom.
I'm thinking of in the bedroom. That might
Yeah.
have been it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
She looks up at the sound of the approaching carriage. Who do we have here? Who is this woman?
who is she?
Who is she?
It's got to be Elsa.
It's got to be Elsa Frankenstein.
Elsa Frankenstein.
And apparently named after her aunt.
Her aunt.
That's Wolf's wife's name is Elsa as well.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's right. Yes, but spelled differently. Hers is spelled else,
Else.
at least in the script.
In the script it is, but the subtitles spell it E-L-S-A.
My name, eagle-eared listeners will know that my name is Bill.
Yes.
And I'm named after my mom's brother. So,
Are you?
yeah, not all that unusual.
Okay.
At least not to me, because I'm named after my mom's brother, or my uncle, if
There
you
you
will.
go. That's right.
And his name is Bill.
We have here Evelyn, which I found out is how she pronounced it.
Okay.
Onkers,
Just
I
like the
believe,
Doctor
or
Who companion, Evelyn.
Onkers or anchors, I'm not sure on
Okay.
that one. I've always said onkers for some reason.
I've always said anchors for some reason.
We should maybe watch Weaver does a commentary for the Wolfman.
He might get it
He
wrong.
might get it wrong too, though. That's right.
I gotta say, I've never known Tom Weaver to be wrong.
No, generally
I've
no.
suspected now several times that Greg Mank is wrong.
There's a few times. Well, he had misidentified the Goose Girl
But
twice.
There you go. I actually noticed that. Yeah, it's in there. Yeah, that's something. Actually, that's kind of weird. That who does he see? Doris Lloyd.
Doris Lloyd, who is coming up next week.
Yeah,
actually.
it doesn't look anything
Doesn't
like
look
the
nothing
Goose Girl.
like her. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something. Doris Lloyd in an amazing dual role.
That's right. Pierce, the makeup he did was absolutely
Fantastic.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, it looks just like a dumpy maid.
Yep.
Oh, that's not nice.
No. Evelyn was born August 17th, 1918 in Valparaiso. Somebody maybe can pronounce that better than I can. Valparaiso, Chile.
I would think just about anybody could pronounce it better than you
I
just
think
did.
you're right.
Yeah.
You
I'm
wanna-
not
you
going
wanna
to
give it a go? No?
not me. I'm going to
Okay.
let that one hang.
She died August 29th, 1985 in Maui.
That's the way to go, huh?
Yeah, well, because her husband, Richard Denning, was cast as the mayor or governor or something for Hawaii Five-0.
No kidding.
So they moved there, and they just never left. And they actually asked her if she would want to play his wife on the show, and she said, "No, I'm done."
Well, okay.
Just flat
She
out
was
said
just
no.
like,
Nope.
if there's anything I like less than smelling Lon Chaney Jr.'s breath, it's,
Yeah.
being in a procedural surrounded by cops in Hawaiian shirts.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess so. She died of ovarian cancer at the age of 67.
That sucks.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I remember hearing when she died.
Yeah.
62 credits from 1936 to 1960.
An inordinate amount of which we've seen.
Well, here's the list. Hold That Ghost.
Abbott and Costello.
I think it's one of her first at Universal.
Or as we call it, Bud Abbott,
But
Lou
Abbott Lou
Costello,
Hold That
Ghost.
Love that movie.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
It's one of my top 3 Bud and Lou movies.
I've never seen it.
Are you kidding me?
No, of course
Get
not.
the fuck out of my house.
What is the one I have seen where they're ghosts?
Well, that's the time of their lives.
Yeah, that one's fantastic.
Which is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that you might have heard of is The Wolfman.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Have you? Huh?
Yeah. It's got Ralph Bellamy.
Yes. Sherlock Holmes, the voice of terror.
She plays the voice of terror.
She does not. She's actually against type as sort of a bad girl almost.
Okay.
The end redeems herself. They don't really overtly say because they couldn't, but she's like this Cockney prostitute.
Wow, I don't remember this at all.
In the end, helps Holmes and Watson.
Is this the first one? No.
It's the first Universal one.
And so it's still
World War II.
It is World War II.
But it's set in London, so you still get that Whitechapel area,
Sure.
So it feels Victorian in a way.
Okay.
That the next couple don't.
I gotta turn that off.
Somebody else use your credit card?
Yeah, my credit card has been hacked again.
Yeah. Captive Wild Woman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Paula Dupree trilogy that is so stellar.
Yep.
Crazy House with Olsen and Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah. Son of Dracula.
Hey, she says she didn't like working with Abbott and Costello.
Did she?
Yeah, that was something that came out in the Mank 40s, Women in the 40s.
Oh, okay, yeah, I should probably reread that.
She didn't like it. She
decades.
said that they were goosing her all the time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Which I just really wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
No. Crazy House, Son of Dracula, one of my favorites, actually.
One of the
40s.
lesser makeups for Janie, so maybe
that's why he gives a better performance in it.
Might be. I mean, he's great as Talbot, too.
Yeah. The Mad Ghoul.
Yeah.
It's a goofy one. Weird Woman. It's one of those Inner Sanctum Cheneys, which she was thrilled to get that call sheet.
Yeah.
Jungle Woman. Invisible Man's Revenge, which apparently everybody was in because it comes up over and over and over again in these lists.
Is that an Earl Kenton?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'd have to look it up. The Pearl of Death, which is another Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
The Frozen Ghost. It's another Inner Sanctum with Cheney.
Oh.
So she was thrilled to report to that set as well. She became an American citizen August of 1946.
Okay.
I don't know why that's significant, but I wrote it down anyway.
Did she marry an American?
Well, Richard Denning. Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
I don't know who
you've seen him. I guarantee you. Have you seen Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Not recently.
He's sort of the bad scientist.
Okay.
The man that runs up to greet her, Eric Ernst.
Eventually runs up to greet her.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, first he tries to sneak away, pretend he didn't see her.
Oh, shit.
She saw me.
Eric Ernst, the town prosecutor.
Apparently.
He is played by one Ralph Rexford Bellamy.
Okay.
Yep.
That
yeah, you know that fellow in the movies.
Is
Ralph
his middle
Bellamy?
name Rexford, or does he have two middle names, Rex and Ford?
No, it's Rexford.
Okay, Rexford.
Yep, that's really what I wish my middle name was.
I think that's going to be my first name from now on.
Yes, I'd have gone with Rexford rather than Ralph. I think.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty much you're second fiddle with a name like Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. Although Ray Fiennes.
Jane Steiner, her father was Ralph.
Okay.
He was a fine man. I had a great relationship with Ralph. Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah. There was a line in His Girl Friday. He plays sort of the bumbling, hapless guy who's going to marry Rosalind Russell's character, and Cary Grant is describing him, and he's like, yeah, he's like that fellow in the movies, Ralph Bellamy.
Okay.
So it's sort of a little meta joke there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that. That's cool.
He was born June 17th, 1904 in Chicago, Illinois. Died November 29th, 1991 in Santa Monica, California at the age of 87 years old.
And his credits include?
His credits include 193 of them from 1931 to 1990, so he had quite a long career.
Yeah.
The Awful Truth, also with Cary Grant.
Nice.
One of the really good screwball comedies. So good that Criterion just put it out recently.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I missed that.
His Girl Friday, which is also with Cary Grant, also on the Criterion Collection.
Okay, is it the same box set?
No.
Oh, okay. So I gotta get them individually.
Yeah,
because that's right, because I already have His Girl Friday. Okay.
Yeah. Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
He's
in the Wolfman with Evelyn Ankers.
With Evelyn Ankers and...
Or Evelyn Ankers.
And Lon Chaney. Or Creighton Tull Chaney.
Evelyn Ankers?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. He's Colonel Montford in The Wolfman.
Monty Python's Meaning of Life?
Yeah. Colonel Montford, who apparently is in charge of the hounds or the estate or something. I don't remember.
In The Wolfman?
Yeah, I don't remember. I never remember why he's there.
Yeah.
Him and William Warren are like,
He's
"Oh,
he's
you're-"
the forgettable guy.
yeah.
You know, Ralph Bellamy.
Yeah, that fellow in the movies.
Yeah, he's that fellow.
Then we jump ahead to Rosemary's Baby.
Really?
He's in that, Dr. Saperstein.
Oh boy.
Kind of a sinister character in
I've
that.
seen all his movies and I've forgotten him in every one of them.
But
except
have you
one.
seen
We'll
The
see.
Boy in the Plastic Bubble? Because he's
Not
in that.
recently.
No, okay, I saw Riff Tracks do it just recently.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is it the John Travolta movie?
Oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Oh boy.
I remember it was huge at the time when it was on TV.
Yeah, and he was huge on TV, right? He
Yeah,
was a
he
big
was
Welcome Back
Barbarino,
Kotter,
yeah.
and or was this before Saturday Night Fever? Probably.
Yeah, it's like right on the cusp, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
And Grease.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy was just in everything for a while.
Yep. He's in Oh God.
No kidding.
Yeah. Tried to watch it once.
What?
Oh
you
God.
don't like Oh God?
My reaction watching it?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Trading Places, of course, is probably
That's the one.
most well known for that
Yeah,
now.
he's got a big significant role.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes,
knows the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
And Jamie Lee Curtis.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. How could I
Exposing
forget?
herself, yeah.
Yeah.
And a gorilla.
And
And
Al
Rick-
Franken and
yeah,
Tom Davis.
yeah,
and a
that's
gorilla,
right,
and yeah, I think that was supposed to be Belushi and Aykroyd or something.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't.
no,
make
because
any sense.
Aykroyd is one of
Anyway.
the stars.
But there's two old guys that make a $1 bet that they can. You've seen the fucking movie,
Yeah.
and he's one of the old guys.
Don Amici being the other.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Amazon Women on the Moon. He's in that.
No kidding.
Yep. Everybody's in that.
It's
So
literally
it's
everybody.
pretty much anybody who worked in the early 80s is in that.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to America.
Okay.
It's another Eddie Murphy, John Landis vehicle. And the
Wait
other
a minute. It's a cameo, isn't it, of their
those two characters, yeah.
And they're down on their luck,
They're-
and
they're-
then he gives them some money or something.
Yes. Yeah, it's a
That's
wonderful
right.
little
I've
in-joke.
forgotten all about that.
Yeah, it's a great little in-joke.
Huh.
He's in the deplorable Pretty Woman.
Okay, you think it's deplorable?
I
That's
just
not the take I got.
I
from
just
at
thought
all.
it was morally bankrupt and
Okay.
not funny, and yeah, I just
All right.
did not care for it. Not related to director Earl Bellamy, which for the longest time I thought he was. I don't know why.
I
thought they were brothers.
They must have been brothers.
I thought so because Earl Bellamy shows up on every other Munsters episode as the director and
Okay.
a ton of shit, and they gotta be.
Yeah.
But no
Nope,
relation
not
that I
in
could
any
find.
way. Okay. All right.
He was one of the founders of the Screen Actors Guild,
No kidding.
so he's out on strike right now
I guess he must
in
be.
spirit.
So one of the founders of it with Karloff?
With Karloff, Ralph Morgan,
Who's the lady?
Frank Morgan's. Who's the lady?
Harry Morgan's dad?
No, he's Frank Morgan, the Wizard of Oz's brother.
He's the butler in Old Dark House, right?
Yeah,
the guy I'm
that's the
thinking of.
guy.
Frank.
Yes, Ernest.
Really gone off the rails.
Ernst and Elsa greet each other like the sappy love interests they are.
She says, like I said, he didn't. He's pretending he didn't
Hey,
see her.
whoa! Where the fuck do you think you're going?
And he says, "Hello, Elsa. Didn't see you." Like he's in this movie. This movie series is primarily full of British people.
And he's certainly not one.
And last season we had Donnie.
Yeah.
Well, hello.
Well,
he doesn't
y'all.
say well, but it's close. Well, didn't see you, Pilgrim.
Which is
He's
funny
almost
because he's from Illinois, but he
Yeah.
sounds like he's from Texas.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess he's around all these British people, and to me it really stands out.
Oh, it
because
does.
It's like
It's fairly glaring. Yeah.
she, the exposition is heavy in this scene.
Oh,
she
yeah.
refers to him as you said,
Yeah.
the town prosecutor. It's like town prosecutor doesn't seem to be from around here,
No.
unless Vissaria's in Texas. I guess.
This scene is maybe 30 seconds long,
Okay.
or 40. It's self-contained within this minute.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of exposition.
Which is too bad for her because unless I'm very much mistaken, she's having a reaction to the flowers or something. Because if you go back and watch it again, I know you're looking at me. Her eyes are a little puffy. Her voice sounds nasally congested and a little bit. It cracks a little bit.
It
like
does
she
crack
says,
when she says,
"Well, that's
okay.
pretty. I thought you were gonna take me for a ride or whatever." So she doesn't look well to me, and
Well,
it's
she
an
could've
interesting
been.
comparison because next week she looks great.
Yeah.
So these scenes weren't shot the same day or
No,
anything
no,
like
I'm
that.
sure
She's
not.
outside. She's literally outside. They are.
I don't
outside.
know though. I to me it looks like it's a soundstage set.
Well, that's true. Once they cut to the close up, it could be inside.
It's definitely
That's true.
it's definitely a set.
Okay. Well, she just wasn't feeling well
But she
then.
could have been.
Maybe they brought in those flowers and she got hay fever.
Good whiff of Cheney's breath before
No,
this
that
action.
there you go. That'll do it to
That'll do
anybody.
it, yeah.
And I was going to make a big stink out of the fact that his hat disappears between shots.
Yeah.
When he gets off the carriage, he's got a hat on.
Yep.
And then when it cuts, it's a hard cut to him approaching her, and the hat isn't there. But after watching it 90 million times, I realized, or Jackie pointed out, he has just taken it off. So you have to use a little bit of your imagination, or else he just manages to right, because he's got it in his hand,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just on the precipice of being a goof or a continuity error.
Yes. Oh, well, a Frankenstein minute flop. So she says that's pretty, which I think is pretty funny.
It's like, that's real nice, yeah.
Is that what she means by that?
Yeah. Oh,
I came to see your father. Well,
that's
pretty.
real nice. Thanks.
Yeah. Have you ever heard anybody use this in any movie or in real life? That's pretty?
I don't know, but possibly. Because, the immediate inference is that, that's real sweet, thanks.
Yeah, in context, it's obvious what she must mean.
Yeah.
She doesn't, we're not left thinking she might mean that the horses are pretty or something.
Or he's very pretty.
Or he's pretty, yeah.
He claims he's there to see her father, which more exposition. Okay, she's the daughter of Ludwig, the second son of Frankenstein.
I'll say this: it's slightly worse in the script because then he
starts
to explain about the monster.
Yeah,
and
it goes on and on and on. Yeah,
yeah, it works better.
It's much better here.
I think this week and the coming weeks there are a few minor tweaks to the script that are almost all good.
Yeah,
and that's a good idea to pluck some of that exposition out. The other thing is...
See, somebody should have told that to Roland V. Lee 4 years ago.
Well, I'll have something to say about this fucking movie in a couple weeks.
Well, yeah.
But also, at this moment when he arrives, I think she even says in the script, well, you can't see him right now, he's in an operation. So that operation scene that we saw weeks ago...
See, a lot of this is taken out of order.
Yeah.
They jumbled...
I think it generally works better.
It generally improves upon the script, the order in which these scenes come.
Yeah. One of the things I like about it is now we've already met Frankenstein and we don't like him.
Right.
So that's good.
There's that. Yeah.
I thought
none of those Frankenstein boys are very likable.
This guy's the least likable.
He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes. It's a very serious matter. So, let's go find him.
Yep.
And they walk off screen left, and a wipe sort of follows with them. It's really nice.
Oh, okay.
It's a really nice transition. It's a fuzzy wipe. It's not a hard
It's like
line.
a Star Wars wipe.
Yeah. So we wipe to Ludwig sitting at his desk.
Oh boy.
Which was a scene that you were looking forward to.
It's a
Ludwig sitting at a desk scene.
it's pretty close to a what we had in the old days where a minute ends and then the next thing happens in the next minute. Yeah. This is as close as we've seen in a while. Yeah. Where it's like, well, we'll have to find him then, and then you see him, and then the movie ends, or not the movie ends. That'd be great.
Oh, we found him. Everything's okay now.
The end. All right. Oh man, that can only mean one thing.
Got any more questions, wise ass?
I don't have any things. Let's see here.
There were no comments on the Patreon about this minute? Or did you not post these?
No, I didn't post these. So
you feel like that didn't work? Or
I don't have any idea what to think. So here's the status. This is minute 16. We did it last week.
We did it for 5.
We did it for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And last week we said, let us know what you think. And I'm still waiting to hear. Because that episode hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're not going to do... I don't know. I would hope we'd have a very strong reaction if we're going to keep doing it. Because my fear is, if I keep posting every minute, eventually people are going to get tired of it, and we're going to have a whole weeks go by where nobody says anything, and I'm going to feel like a jackass. So luckily we didn't have that last time. Right. Every minute had a comment.
Well, we'll find out after last week.
We'll find out after last week.
People like that.
You people are ahead of us. You're in the future. And you know that the overwhelming response was, please stop doing this.
The podcast in general? Or just it's a fair assumption.
Mike Herman writes, I love Son of Frankenstein.
Well, good for you.
Yep. Oh, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Sorry,
Okay.
There's more. That's right.
Okay.
But in comparison, Ghost really is zipping by. It seems crazy that we're 10 weeks in and a lot happened in that 10 minutes. So I guess this is an old comment, but we didn't have it last time.
Yeah,
so.
it's still relevant.
Still, it's true. And I think that's something we had noticed and will continue to notice. This is a pretty fast-moving movie.
It is fast. I mean, you compare this minute 10 to minute 10 of Sun, and they're probably just showing up at the castle for the first time.
Yeah, there's a lot of setup at the beginning.
It's just,
Chuck from Winnipeg writes,
Okay.
little known he writes this in response to episode 411, Boehmer's Follies in 1942. Little known trivia, Boehmer's Follies was the warm-up act for Ziegfeld Follies.
Yes,
I just really like Boehmer's Folly. That's awesome. Let's see here. But there are a lot of comments this time,
it's unfortunate that didn't enter into the finished film. It's a line in the script.
Yeah, that's true. It's only a line in the script. True. So then I did want to get to I am delighted to announce the return of Rick. So Rick
after a
hasn't
long
been following
absence,
us during the Sun. He says, I was going to post these comments on either your Facebook page or your YouTube thingy, but no surprise, I got long-winded and figured this is the place to drop, and he goes in great deal. So let me see if I can just sort of try and
get comfortable, everybody.
Yeah, having fallen just way the heck behind, I decided catching up on Sun was probably a lost cause, so I figured to jump on Ghost.
Good idea.
I started with the first episode. My own thought on Ghost, it ain't good. I'm not sure if it's the worst of the Universal series, but it's definitely the one I'm least likely to revisit. Overlit and undercooked. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
I got nothing.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that.
I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff because otherwise we'll just be doing this for the rest. Let's see. Moving on to the first episode. What is that loud blat in the opening audio montage? It's Bela, surely. Is he saying Boehmer? I can't tell. Whatever it is, it's horrendous and ear-splitting. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I addressed that a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I did it because I thought it was funny and just to be an asshole.
We're all done with it.
It's gone.
Now. Bill describes Karloff's quartet of Mexican films as things that, quote, nobody has seen, unquote. I think you misjudge your audience. Surely, yes, the great, sweaty mass of humanity has never seen them, but you play primarily, I assume, to monster kiddom, and I'm sure that a sizable percentage has seen at least a couple of those things. I've long since seen them all and reviewed at least a couple of them.
Okay.
That's nice. Because we
had not...
Well, first of all, people should know. Actually, I didn't even do the correct introduction.
Oh my God!
This week's got any? I didn't even say any of this.
Well, the theme song said it.
The theme song said, "Got any more questions? Why is this week is brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Frankenstein Minute, where you can go and listen to Tom and I talk about the 4 Mexican films.
That's right.
Somebody commented, and I'm too disorganized to remember who, because I posted something on Facebook and Instagram about the anniversary of the release of Targets, and they were like, "I believe this is Karloff's last film," and I thought, I'm just going to let that go, because it is.
Sure, absolutely is, yes.
It's great. It's just like Peter Sellers' last film is being there. We've gone through.
Did you get this?
No, I didn't.
It looks good. It's not pristine, but I imagine the source material isn't either.
Yeah, I suppose.
We're talking about the Criterion
it.
Edition of Targets.
Part of the movie has been announced as coming out in a special edition. What is that movie that they go see at the beginning?
The Terror.
The Terror is getting a big release.
What Chris said you posted something about that, and I have long since abandoned social media.
Okay, good.
So I have no idea, but...
well, I'll have something to say about you abandoning social media in the coming weeks, too.
All right.
It's good. It's actually a good thing. I'm glad you've abandoned social... Stay away!
Stay tuned for that, because I'm sure it's fascinating.
Tom is right that Paramount, quote, went where Universal didn't, unquote, and he's right to mention Island of Lost Souls and Murders in the Zoo, but he also includes Dr. X and Mystery of the Wax Museum, and those were Warner Brothers flicks.
I did not specifically say they were Paramount.
I see. Okay.
So you're wrong.
I am going to
I know full well those were Warner Brothers, First National, and not Paramount.
All right. We're done.
All right.
Cue the theme music by... Who does our theme music? I was thinking about this. A lot of people post in their notes and say on screen or on air who did the theme song. Who does our theme song?
The Frankenstein Minute theme?
Yes.
Song?
It's not Edgar Winter.
It is not Edgar Winter. It is Jacob Smith.
Jacob Smith. Thanks for your theme song.
Or I think now he goes by Jacob Walsh.
Jacob Walsh.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Musical genius. Yeah, it was actually done prior prior to this podcast, I was thinking about rebooting Horror Incorporated and wanted to refresh it and give it a new theme, and I thought he was the perfect guy to do so. And he knew I'm a sucker for surf guitar music, so
well, it seems appropriate to this genre, I think, just because of the Munsters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that might be why I'm such a fan of that.
Well, but
genre.
you find it other places too. I just saw something recently. It's probably something on Dino's page or whatever. But like a lot of the monster music, the kind of stuff Dino would have played on his
is
Halloween,
surfy. Yeah.
A lot of surfy stuff. I think it's probably well suited if you're gonna move. Well, I guess I don't know why.
Well, I think if you're doing sort of that, like you said, Monster Kid, because that was a product of the early 60s through the mid 70s,
and so the music is
the
appropriate.
music
to that
is
era.
part of that,
Yeah.
and like the Munsters theme.
Sure.
I can think of, I think Spider Baby might have some surfy kind of
Wow,
music in
Spider
it.
Baby.
There's one, yeah.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
I feel like we talked about it for
It's
some
come
reason.
up
Is
a few
somebody in it
times.
that's
Will Cheney's in it, yeah.
Okay.
It's pervasive.
Well, and
Just
the
in, like,
Monster Mash isn't unlike that. It's of a similar vein.
And certainly Batman had a lot to do with that. The Batman theme and
yeah.
its soundtrack has that sort of flavor to
It's
it.
from that era.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay then. Oh my God, I'm gonna hate editing this.